Begin Podfix Network transmission in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks, where we offer our side of the issues. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show. You can also listen to us on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please rate, like, review, subscribe, and share. And if no one else has told you today, we love you. Now let's get into the show.
Girl, what is wrong with Monique? Did you watch that?
Oh my God.
She sounds like an old cantankerous old lady.
I'm talking the poster child for old cantankerous old lady.
It's not a good look. It's not.
It's
Did you see the
horrible.
comments? The comments are like, so what you're saying is you're petty.
It's, you know what? After the initial kind of like, wow, it's really sad.
It's sad. It's kind of sad. And then to make it, well, it's sad all by itself because she's supposed to be like an elder stateswoman.
Yeah.
You know, and she got the gray hair and popping and all that. She's looking good.
Yes.
But then she is like the epitome of petty.
Right.
She's the epitome.
That's the new word. The epitome of petty. She's a epitome. She's a epitome.
But her husband makes it even sadder.
Daddy.
That is terrible. That's a terrible
Daddy.
look.
And he just,
What does he do?
I look at that and I'm like, he's her manager.
People are clowning her about that too. Like the contract that you supposed was to have given what that was a receipt was written by your husband.
Right. Right.
Not
And
a
he's,
good look.
and he's sitting there by her side. And I just look at it and I'm like, Monique, you don't have a fucking friend in the world.
Not a friend. First of all, why is he sitting? That's so unnecessary. It makes her look weak that he's
Yes.
sitting there with her.
Chiming
you
in
need
like a
him?
fucking parrot on her shoulder.
Chiming the fuck in.
Yes.
Chiming the fuck in. I bet she asked him to sit there.
You know that since she's last 15 years, since she's been on her disgruntled tour, he's been a parrot sitting on her shoulder, chiming in. You haven't seen their lives?
No. Are you
This
serious?
has been going on for 15 years.
It's not a good look. It's not a good lane. And now I'm sorry.
They have lives where they go into, because you know she doesn't talk to, she fell out with her family too.
Who the fuck didn't she fall out with?
Jesus.
She probably fell out with her own damn. She has kids too, right?
She has kids, but it's such a mind fuck because she's like, you know, for women, for little black girls,
Babies
out there in the world.
But babies, listen. But babies.
For what I'm fighting for, what I believe in. I'm like, Monique, would you fucking stop? You are not fighting for little black babies, okay?
And your counsel is whack. He chiming in, yeah. I mean, you know, you heard DL talk about. So she starts naming people that DL has quote unquote dissed on his platform, and he starts chiming in. Yeah, what about Kanye? What about? I'm like, how the fuck old are you guys?
Who are you? Who are you?
Oh
And
my
then-
gosh.
And if nothing else, like Monique is in our age range.
She's a little older than us, I think.
She is older than us, but imagine, I just imagine if I were younger, looking at this elderly stateswoman, like you said, with her gray hair, you know, with her buns and shit. And it's like,
It's a train wreck.
just the way she conducts herself.
It's sad. It really is sad. It's sad.
The vitriol.
It's like
that she
desperate.
spewed. Yes. The vitriol she spewed on that stage was just,
It wasn't
was
called for.
horrible.
It was not. And then to
It was
find out,
uncalled
then
for.
for her to come out and say, "Yeah, I have been planning to get in that ass."
Yes.
Get in what ass,
Yes.
Monique? What
Why
ass
are you trying to get in that
get
man's
in?
ass?
Why are you trying to get in his ass? I don't
And then
understand.
bringing up his wife.
Not a good
then
look.
Later on, she brought up his daughter. Did you hear that?
No.
She recently posted because DL was on some talk show and he talked about being very honest about how someone in his family that he was very fond of had touched his daughter. But he initially did not believe it.
Oh no.
Because of who the person was. But he was saying how this happened and he was explaining it. He was talking about how he could never take that back. But so she goes, call out the accuser.
No, she didn't.
She used that example.
In the same rant?
Yes. She used that example to say, just like you didn't stand up for the woman in your family.
That is that's out of bounds. That is out of boom.
Mm-hmm.
Hiss.
Yes.
Ooh, you're
right.
You're canceled, Monique.
Awful.
Not good. That's so that's not cool at all. It was bad enough when I knew that she said he was DL. He was on the DL.
Right.
That was bad enough. And she's like, you can't take a joke. It's a joke.
Like, oh, come on. What she said, you're a Tinder. She said, now you're Tinder DL.
Mm-mm.
You couldn't take a joke. I said, first off, what the fuck is Tinder?
What is Tinder? You sound really old, Monique.
Tinder, right?
And nobody wants to see an old ass lady. Everybody in the comments is like, I just want to see comedy. Can I just see comedy? I don't want to see people arguing back and forth about.
Yeah.
But to me, she gave him no. It's almost like she gave him no choice.
What choice did he have? Because if he said nothing, you would assume that there was some truth to it.
So I think
he had
that
to respond.
He's probably going to not say anything else because arguing with the fool, you can't tell which one is which from a distance.
No, that's
so he probably won't say anything else, but he had to say something initially. And I'm borderline. I'm mad at her and sad for her at the same time.
Well, at the same time, yeah. And plus, she's taking it to depths that are so low that you can't even engage with her. You're bringing up the sexual abuse of his child.
She's going low. She's going really low.
That just shows you how super desperate you and Daddy are.
And the thing is, the people. So she has had, like you said, she's had beefs with damn near everybody.
Everybody. People that are beefless.
I mean, DL, I don't think is a beef type. I mean, DL is funny. I mean, he doesn't. He's for the culture. I just feel like DL is for the culture.
I've never seen or thought that DL ever presents himself as having like a negative intent towards people or situations. I've never gotten that from him.
No,
yeah, not mean spirited.
He'll roast you. But it's not mean spirited, you know?
Right. But even as DL has matured, because when he first started out on like Comedy Central or what BET comedy, whatever that was, when he was younger, he was a little rawer with his roasting. But even as he matured, to me, Chris Rock is worse than DL.
And Chris Rock is like, pussycat. He's a pussycat.
Yeah.
I mean, they roast you, but that's what comedians do. So if she is trying to lead people to believe that, I guess he hurt her feelings over the years, all these years. Why didn't you just say something to him?
Why didn't you say? But then she had just invited him to her home.
I don't want to hear no
Monique,
more.
you are all over the fucking place.
I am fucking done.
And I just look at her and I look at like just the language she was using and just the anger spewing from her. And I'm thinking, your husband kisses that mouth?
Like you are burdened, young lady. You are burdened with something. You are hurt and you are lashing out at the wrong person. It's misplaced. It's ill-conceived. It's not guided. Her counsel, everybody in the comments, she should have talked to them before she went on that stage. Because they were like, so why didn't you just go? So what you're trying to say is you're petty. Why didn't you just go talk to him? You had planned this ahead of time. So it wasn't even about the contract. No, it was about you trying to get back at him. Like that's so not a good look. She should have. No. So that lets me know her counsel, her husband, manager, daddy, yeah. He ain't worth shit. He ain't worth a quarter.
And DL said some bars, and he was like, I don't know why you calling him your daddy. He was like, you pay him. That's more like a son.
Ooh, facts.
I was like,
hashtag facts.
Yes. Like he worked for you. That's more like a son.
He's a yes man. He definitely is a yes man. I mean, anytime you're going to sit up
about you,
it's almost like, I'm going to be there for support. I bet she asked him to do that though.
I think they're such a well-oiled, dysfunctional machine at this point. I mean, they've been doing, like I said, they have been doing this disgruntled tour for 15 years.
They've been on a good. Yes, name it the disgruntled tour.
The disgruntled tour, where both of them together from where they go from the subject. I saw one where she went into depth about issues with her family in a way that just was like, why are you sharing this? Why are you saying this? Why are you sharing
in a public forum?
In a public forum.
Not, oh gosh. So she got some
serious, but he does. I think that man does not, in fact, actually care about her, because if he cared about her, he would be like, you know what? This has gone too far.
Let's shut it down, boo.
This has gone too far. You got to ask the question, how is this working for you?
And you know what? You have said a mouthful there. And I contend, it underscores my contention that you are the sum of the 5 people closest to you. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like what I'm saying. Yeah. You don't even have to believe it, but it is true. So who the hell is she surrounding herself with? If that's the only motherfucker she's around all day, and they're only around each other all day, they're losing. They're losing. Mm-hmm. They need some other people. They need some other opinions in the mix so that they don't go out like straight up bonkers
nutballs.
Nuts.
Nutballs, which is what they look like. You literally look at it like are
what the fuck is going on here?
Are y'all okay? It's clear that the two of them, that's the circle.
That is their circle, the two of them. And that is a recipe. Let this be a lesson to all of us. You can't just have one voice and one person that you depend on for your counsel. I think that it's beneficial, and it behooves you to have a board of trustees in whom you can run things past, especially when it's big things like that. Things past. Certainly there will be some opposing view in the mix. If there's not an opposing view in the mix and everybody's just like, yeah, that's a good, I would say ask another 5, because
exactly.
You just need some balance. You need balance there. So that, folks, is that.
Yeah, we'll put this under Tell the Truth Summer. And
Tell the Truth Summer.
The truth is, Monique, you are the hell out of control.
Yeah, just in case. Okay, so do you think that Kevin Samuels, they say that he died with a nurse, but I kind of think he died with a hole. Bless his hole and rest in peace and all of that. But I kind of think he died with a hole.
Okay, so what happened? What are they saying? Because I haven't seen any of this.
One of the compelling evidence to this is not only the things that happened that night, but some commentary he had on the No Jumper podcast on there as a guest a few months ago. And he told this whole long story, which some of it I don't even believe was true. But he told this whole long story, I believe, when he worked for some in corporate America in Dallas, Texas, where he had a corporate event. And he hired an escort, is what he said, but I'm going to call it what it is. He hired a hoe.
Yes.
To accompany him.
People do that?
That's what I said to accompany him. And so he spent like all this time laying out why this is a good idea and why this is even a good business idea. In that he went in the restroom and this older white man that was higher up in the company was like, oh, what did he say? Oh, you know, Brenda, she's a good girl. Wash his hands out. Yes. Then he goes on to say after that, he just kept getting benefits and getting moved ahead in the company business wise.
What?
And so he said, eventually he just asked, he's like, do I have a benefactor? What is this? And he said, the guy was like, well, anybody that's smart enough to hire whatever his broad's name was, is smart enough for business.
Are you shitting me?
That's the part where I kind of think he's
embellishing.
He embellishing like a motherfucker. Like, to me, I just doubt that that's true. But the thing in terms of how he passed recently in Atlanta, and may he rest in peace.
Rest in peace. R.I.P.
So, and what else do you say?
I don't know.
God bless the dead. I'm not in any way disparaging him, and I don't take any comfort in his passing.
Right, me either.
But he had met this young lady. I think she's somewhere between 25 and 27 years old, and he was 56. He had met her the day before. They had spent the night before.
The day before?
Yes. The day before.
They spent the night?
And they spent the night. So this was like a one night stand.
Oh, man.
We don't know what it would have turned into, but more than likely.
Well, they just met.
They spent the night. So if I'm assuming that a 56-year-old man spending the night with a 27-year-old young woman, he tried to get in there and perform.
Right. He probably took some Viagra and
probably took those gas station pills niggas be taking.
Oh my gosh. Damn.
You're kind of like young girl.
Oh, that's.
I'm gonna show her. So she said the next morning or next day that he was complaining about chest pain, but he did not want to go through emergency. And so
he was complaining about chest pains.
He might have
been able to save his life.
Maybe. And he fell on top of her. And
oh my God.
How he died on top of me.
Oh my God. Come on. Did she say that? Did she say that they were?
She didn't. But here's the thing. She didn't say he was trying to do a round two. Even though I think that there's a good probability that he was trying to get up and be like, come here, young girl, watch what this old dude can do.
Oh my goodness. Not if he was complaining of chest pain. Now, was she black? I'm just curious.
I think she was Latino or white, which you could be white and Latino, but
and you can be black and Latino.
You can be black and Latino, but I believe she was white. But she claimed, so she said she called 911. She called the front desk and asked if they had a heart defibrillator. She did chest compressions on him, but apparently he was declared dead when the came to the apartment. He was declared dead. So,
oh my word! Oh my goodness!
Really sad, which is really sad. So, have you been watching like the commentary? Like, I knew he was a polarizing figure, but like even in death, he is so fucking polarizing. There are women on Twitter saying things like, because he is known for talking about high value men. Mm-hmm. And there are people, women on Twitter saying he's a high value corpse.
Oh no, that's not okay. That's not okay.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. So let me disclaimer. I never watched one single video of his. I know who he is because just recently I became familiar with him when people started saying that we were the anti Kevin Samuels. I don't know, some feedback that I got, but I kind of know what I've heard about him. It wasn't favorable. Yeah. That said, I would not, I didn't know him or know anything about him enough to wish death on him. Right. But I'm just wondering, I don't know what would make people, why would people say such things about him?
He did say some pretty harsh and terrible things about Black women. He did. Not to say that everything he said was necessarily ridiculous,
Mhm.
but the delivery was very disrespectful. And he did say some really fucked up things. So also, I would never like go find a Kevin Samuels video and watch the whole thing. Never.
Mhm. Mhm.
The part I saw was when he would go viral for something insulting.
Oh, I see. Mhm.
Yeah, so the only most of what I know of him are the insulting clips that would go
Mhm. That went viral. Mhm.
yeah, so in all fairness, I'm not familiar with all of his content either, but I would see him on other people's platforms when they would interview him, but his whole energy was way different to me when he was on other people's platforms.
Really?
Yeah, he was not.
How so?
He didn't talk as crazy and reckless
Okay.
on show. He really acted
Normal? Okay.
That's normal to me. And then but the thing that I did see, even only watching his viral moments, was that it was clear that he was always in pursuit of going viral.
Okay.
After a while, it seemed very contrived.
Right. Okay. I've heard that. That's why I guess I can't hate him, for that. I mean, I heard that he was more so playing a character at times. And and also the other thing that just I came to know is that somebody that I really respect, who is Ricky Smiley, said that he appreciated Kevin Samuels and kind of what his contributions, and even though some of the things that he didn't agree with everything he said, but a lot of things he said made sense. So for me, I'm listening to Ricky Smiley basically, and this is post-mortem, of course, but that means a lot. I mean, so I guess I can't go all in and say, hey, I don't like this dude or whatever, but
you have people like T.I. says something that was really supportive of him afterwards. And so people have been taking note of the men that are speaking up on his behalf as of late.
okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I feel this. He had the right to do whatever he wanted to fucking do. Okay.
Mhm.
He did, but I also have the right to not agree with it. But I do think that when you have like men that were just rallying behind him in the way that they were, it says something about them.
Sure. You mean post-mortem?
Post-mortem. Well,
Okay.
even live, but definitely post-mortem.
Mhm.
Because this is my question. Show me the white version of Kevin Samuels, where he capitalizes and makes money off of downgrading the women in his community. Show me the Asian version. Show me the Latino version. That's the part that you can't ignore to me. And that may be a bigger discussion bigger than even Kevin Samuels was. But there is something to that. And I don't think that it should be ignored. There's something to that.
Agreed. I will just say that, McDonald's slogan, over a billion sold. Don't get mad at McDonald's for making it. It's a billion people are buying it. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know if the people who are defending him are culpable, if you will. I don't know if the people, but certainly the people who are consuming it and making him rich or who made him popular and viral, they should take some responsibility.
They should. And I think that we only touched on this topic just ever so slightly, where I mentioned that there's an industry on correcting Black women. And I think that he was a part of that industry. And I do take issue with
correcting Black women.
Correcting and guiding, counseling. There's a whole
from Black men, like Black men who are doing it. Who's doing this?
Usually
I'm thinking Monique is who comes to my mind.
I think Monique. I don't know.
She be trying to correct Black women. I'm just.
She did have a moment when she was talking about the hair. What do you call those things?
The bonnets.
The bonnets. So she had a moment, but I think it's bigger than Monique and some hair bonnets. But there is a multi-million-dollar industry of people that make a living off of correcting and policing Black women. And Kevin Samuels was one. And so you can sort of understand some of the rage on the part of some women when he passed, and they're like, And what did he contribute? And Kevin Samuels, I'm gonna tell you who did a really interesting breakdown of his passing and sort of him. Lovely T. PTTV did a good thing. And Kevin Samuels had been trying to almost he had this term called the color purpling of Black America.
Oh my.
Which is so ironic that he died.
Doesn't it? Oh man.
How did he die on top of me?
Oh no.
So I do have a certain level of general resentment for him and just the whole industry of policing Black women in their bodies and their behavior in general.
I don't accept it, but I do know that he can't police. It's like this. Nobody can make you feel a certain way without your permission. He was a non-factor in my life. I mean, him policing me had nothing to do with me. That's like, I don't really, I don't subscribe to whatever he said, especially that was negative. But there is I'm told, a whole slew of women, a whole group of women who did want to be policed, if you will, by him. And that's how the industry thrives. They don't, he knew who his market was. Yeah. And that's who he preached to. And, again, I think it has more to do with, just the way we've been conditioned and the way, we, this so-called the policing, if you not so much the policing, but the way we've been socialized and conditioned and, being able to have, I guess, jurisdiction over our own bodies and how we operate and flow through this world and through this life, which is something that they talk about quite a bit in this Netflix thing that we're going to talk about later. But yeah, so interesting. So he said, so what did you say he called it? Something, the color purpling of America?
Color purpling of Black.
Of Black.
Of Black America. Mm-hmm.
I found out through his passing that he used to be he started on YouTube as a guy who talked about fashion in cologne. Made me think he was gay, but that's just another chapter, another book. But
I was honestly, I was surprised he didn't get caught with a man. I really was. But my friend was like, shoot, maybe he had met her so she could tell him, like, girl, you ain't gonna believe who I was with.
That's wrong. We are wrong.
I know.
But there's something to be, I have theories. I have really unpopular opinions about people who decide, who feel like they have to police Black women. And, I feel like I have really strong, unpopular opinions about these people, but
and even further to your point, in addition to talking about outfits, not talking about pants and shit, he also started out talking about men, Black men, and what Black men could do better. That didn't catch on.
Okay.
That didn't catch on. When he started talking about Black women,
that's what
caught on.
Okay.
And a certain percentage of his analytics, I guess, were, of course, not a certain percentage, a great percentage were Black women.
Mm-hmm.
Just to your point of like, why are people supporting this? There has to be something said.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was also a person that people loved to hate.
Mm-hmm.
So people would watch him
just so they could
not like him and complain about him, and then make his clips end up going viral, but you actually end up supporting a person, because I think on YouTube he had 1.5 million subscribers. And
oh no,
over a few years.
Yeah, I feel I have mixed emotions about the whole, after the sale of Twitter to Elon Musk for $44 billion with the B.
Yeah.
I have mixed emotions about this. I was talking to a friend of mine about to what would it take for me to sell out? And so I was like, well, I mean, so they were saying that, well, Twitter always, prided themselves on not being, able to be bought and sold and this and that. And I said, but damn, when somebody come to you with 44 with a B, I would have had to be like, okay, peace out, see you later. I mean, that's not, don't be stupid.
Don't be an idiot.
So I mean, on some level, and this same person was like, so that don't tell me that. Yeah, that's disappointing. I thought you were better than that. Don't tell me you would sell out for $1 million. I said, hell, I'll sell out for 300,000.
Right.
Give me three. I said, short of being diamond and silk, I probably would. Yeah, I would. He said, would you do a chicken commercial? I'm like, hell to the yes. I'll do a chicken commercial. Yes.
I had chicken for Mother's Day. Matter of fucking fact.
I'm not gonna shuck and jive too much, but you put 44 with a B on it. So I'm saying all of that to say that, I have mixed emotions about the whole saying things for the clicks, seeing what kind of resonates and gets you the most, traction so that you can increase the bag. Sometimes you have to play a character. I get that. Sometimes you have to play a character, just like us, Yummy and Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Obviously those aren't our real names, but these are our on air.
These are our stage names.
Yeah, our on air situation. So
right.
I'm just saying. So
no, you're right about that. You're right about that. And I'm sure he looked at his analytics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, so when I rate women and tell them they ain't that pretty, that's what you want to see.
Now, where's the line? Where's the line? Because I feel like Kanye has gone way too far over the line. I feel like people like Candace Owens, way over the line. Yeah. I feel like people like the doggone what's his name from Georgia, the one that's running Herschel Walker.
Oh, Lord.
Complete monkey.
Oh boy,
he's a monkey.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry, he's a monkey. Okay. Him and his mom and his daddy, and I'm gonna play the dozens on his ass. He is terrible. Somebody like him, I'm like, that's too far. What won't you do? That is detrimental to the culture, to the people. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe Kevin Samuels had that type of thing going on, or maybe he was headed in that direction. I don't know him or know his content well enough, but I'm sure the people will let me know.
Well, you do know what his last publication was that he put out, his last show. The major takeaway was that any woman, even though he was speaking to Black women, and he may have even said Black women over 35 are leftovers. And that any man dealing with them, that something is wrong with them, but they are they're what's left over. So this is the level of ridiculousness. That's just one thing out of like lots of just.
Who is he? I mean, it's like, on some level, I'm just like, you don't know what you're talking about. Who is he to say that? I mean,
but look at a relationship guru and self-proclaimed, right? But look at how he passed on with a stranger.
Yes, because that's what I want to ask you. What would make a man who obviously is successful go and purchase companionship for the night? What would make a man do that? Why would he do that?
Well, like he said on No Jumper, it's just easier, and he don't have to wine and dine and wonder if he's gonna get what he wants from a woman based on a regular type of relationship dynamic when he can just buy it. To me, he sold on himself.
So what kind of man does that? What kind of man doesn't want to wine and dine or put in work or have something so easy, have it come to him? What kind of man does that?
I think you're lazy. I think that you're one that hasn't had a lot of success when you talk just you.
Gameless.
Thank you. Gameless. Because if you are a dude who has had any level of success, you don't have to pay nobody to go somewhere with you. And that's true. And so I'm listening to him and knowing all the people that listen to him in the way that he was trying to really put this down like this was a smart.
Oh my gosh.
That's like, Playboy, don't do that. Just because you don't have the game
right
for the level that you feel you want or that you want to rep, you don't have the game. So what you have to do is you have to turn it into a transaction and you have to purchase it. then that's you purchasing it. But don't act like because there are men who can get it without doing that. And so
men with the brain, men who have conversation, men who are deeper than paper thin, they all can get it.
They all can get it.
So
that dude. So don't try to put yourself into some category of like this high echelon of a high value man when you pay for pussy. I'm sorry.
High value. Isn't that ironic? High value man who has to pay for it.
Pays for pussy. Get the fuck out of here. You are not an alpha male if you pay for pussy. I don't care. You not that good. You think
Mufasa was running around here paying for it? No.
Come on.
He had him lined up trying to give it to him.
Right. That's the story. that's when you like, oh shit, explain to me how you do it.
Hey.
Not when you pay for it. I know how you do it. You purchase it.
Not impressed. I'm not impressed by that.
Not at all. And it's sad. Your last moments on this earth with a hoe who didn't know shit about you.
By yourself. Basically by yourself. You died alone. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for him. Clearly somebody hurt him along the way and he was trying to hurt people, hurt people. But it's just sad commentary when you are, dying alone. No real relationships, no. I mean, I suppose he had kids or something. I hope.
He had kids to the point where his mother had to find out on social media.
No.
Yes, that is so awful.
Oh, that's
to all of this. He still was somebody's child. He's somebody's father. But it's like he died alone with a hoe. I mean, to the point he died alone with a stranger, because had he passed with someone who actually knew him, they would have known how to contact his mama. But that didn't happen because he died with a hoe. So there you have it. So then it goes through, people just doing what they do on social media.
But shame on people for being ugly about the dead. Don't do that, y'all. Don't do it.
Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, review, subscribe, and share. It helps other listeners find us. And don't forget to follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show and also our highly curated He Can Get It list. As always, you can listen to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if no one else has told you today, we love you and thank you so much for listening.
You've been listening to a podcast of the Podfix Network. Discover more audible gems like this at podfixnetwork.com. Make sure to catch up-to-the-minute network shenanigans by following @Podfix on Twitter, official_Podfix on Instagram, @Podfix Network on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to Podfix Presents wherever you choose to find podcasts. The Podfix Network, artist owned and loved.